So this is recording, and I will post this to the web later, or I'll post it to YouTube and send you a link so you and any other administrators can access this training. I'll also send another training document, and there's other resources that are available to help. I'm also available, so if it's during office hours and you need any help with anything, please feel free to email me or call me.
Okay.
And I'll do the best I can to help. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to show you a couple of the login pages that we have. This is the main login page for all users. There's a separate login page for administrators.
Hold on a second. Hold on, Dusty. Okay. I'm logging in, and I'm just kind of in the waiting mode here, so I don't see anything right
now. If after you reset your password, you may have to log back in. Like, it'll let you reset your password, then it'll take you back to the login page.
Right. And I did that, and it's just, I'm kind of hung up. Let me
and try to refresh your browser.
My computer's on its last leg is what it is. Okay, so now I'm back at the main screen. Your username and ID is in there, so I can just take those out? No, I can't. That's just your screen.
Yeah, okay. This is my the screen for the call.
Let me try it again. I'm getting a new computer next week, and I just can't wait. To access.
There are two logins, and so this is the regular user login. There's also an admin login, and that's what this looks like. So if you log in through the admin login, it's going to take you to the admin dashboard.
Okay.
And if you log in through the regular login, it's going to take you to the learner dashboard. So if you are an administrator, you can log in through the admin dashboard. If you are not an administrator, then it will not allow you to log into the admin dashboard. It should kick you over to the learner side if you do not have admin rights. So what I want to focus on first is the learner side and what this is going to look like for your learners as they're taking training. So you have a certain number of courses that are available in the contract. Those courses have been made available in the catalog. So whenever a user first logs into the LMS, they'll see this catalog, and it will list the courses that are available for them to self-enroll into. There's a couple of different ways that they can see expanded information on the catalog. They can click on this catalog link, and it will take them and display all the courses that are available. You see that you have 123 courses that are available.
Okay.
And you can also filter this information. If you click the filter on the left, then you can search for course names. So if I want to search the course keywords such as tools, then this is going to return all of the course titles that have tool in the title.
Okay.
There's also a global search at the top which will allow me to search for certain keywords or phrases or course numbers as well.
Okay.
The menu options at the top, the first menu option is going to display information such as My Courses. My Courses is going to have training that has been assigned to the user or that the user has enrolled into. In Catalog, as I stated, this is going to be training that is available to the user to self-enroll into.
Okay.
Resources are going to be any type of documents that are uploaded to the LMS, such as a new employee handbook. Calendar is going to be where a user will be able to keep track of due dates with associated training.
Let me ask. Go back to the resources. So like, let's just say, you know, we're doing a training on, I don't know, conveyor belts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I could upload some specific information on conveyor belts, like whether it's like something as simple as like how our conveyors are connected to each other, or, you know, like the layout of all our conveyor, anything like that would be something that I could put in resources that would then be a supplement to the online training. Is that?
Yes. Whenever I get to the admin area, I'll show you how to upload resources, and
Okay.
So those resources would be listed on the training, and they should be listed in the resource area too.
Okay.
And if you have any due dates associated with any training, then those are going to, the due dates are going to appear on the user's calendar. If there's any type of instructor-led training that you're managing through the learning management system, that information would also be included on the calendar as well for upcoming sessions of that training.
Okay.
The user transcript, this is going to have all the training that's been completed by the user, all the training that's assigned to the user, and the user can print their transcript so they can have that to hold in hand and take with them if they don't have access to the LMS.
Okay.
The profile option is going to allow user to edit certain information within their learner profile. There's some information that they might not be able to edit. So if I click on Edit Profile, you'll see certain information that can be edited. There's some information that cannot be edited, such as their name and email, but they can add a phone number, middle name, they can add address. And click Save, and then it would save that information to the LMS.
Okay.
If they want to change their password, this is where they would change their password. So just click Change Password, confirm their current password, and then enter the new password.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. This is going to be the main page of the LMS. And we have some more options down here at the bottom, transcript, calendar, edit profile. That's similar to what some of the options that we've already covered. So if I enroll into a course and enroll into this hand tools course, it'll give me an option to start the course.
Okay.
And this is the course details page. One thing that I want to point out here is that whenever you add a resource to a specific training item, this is going to be the page where that resource will be located. So let's say you do create a curriculum that has that's specific to conveyor belts, then if you added that to as a resource, there's different ways you can add it. You can add it as a resource, you can add it as a learning object within the curriculum, but this is where it would be displayed.
Okay, would it be displayed like right underneath, or correct, like underneath like the course
It should be
content?
displayed over here on the right.
Okay. Okay.
And we can check that to make sure.
Okay. Then it doesn't matter. I was just curious one way or another. Okay.
Yeah, so you click Start. It opens up the course. And now this has moved into resume status. And once we go through the final exam real quick and get a failing score. Now the score will be displayed on that course information page as well. And the course will remain in progress until the user has achieved a passing score. And then once they achieve a passing score, it'll move into a completed status, and then they'll have an option to re-enroll into the training if they want to take it again.
So they can take it again after they pass it, so it just as like a refresher or something?
Yes, unless you do not want them to be able to take it.
Okay.
So the score displays right here. So any questions about the learner side? One thing to point out that if you assign courses to a user, it's going to appear in My Courses, and the most recently assigned courses are going to appear first. And resume courses are specific to courses users have started but not completed.
Okay. So when the guys log in, they'll see all the courses that are there, or they won't see any courses until I actually go in and assign courses to them?
They'll see these catalog courses.
Right. Okay. So they'll see everything that's in there, and then they could pick and choose what they wanted, unless I went in and said, no, I specifically want you to take A, B, C, and D courses.
Correct. We can remove the self-enrollment option from these courses.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
For the purposes of what we're doing here, having them be able to self-enroll is fine.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm going to move over to the admin side. And you get to admin through the navigation, and there's going to be an admin link. If you are an administrator, if you do not have admin rights, you're not going to see that option.
Okay. So now when I logged in, it automatically took me to admin.
Yes, if you log in through the admin login, it's going to automatically take you to admin.
Okay, okay.
And to get over to the learner side, all you have to do is click this little button right here. Okay. On the navigation on the right, you can also get to the learner side by this link.
I don't have that.
And
oh, wait a minute.
First thing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't have that on my account. Like on the right-hand side where you have account, and it says, you know, your name, and it says English and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Mine just says change password and user setting and log off. I don't have learner side.
Okay, let me check something. Did you purchase, how many learner licenses did you purchase? Do you know?
I thought I purchased 10.
10? Okay. I'm going to turn you on as a learner. You should be able to see that information now.
Do I need to refresh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You see it now?
No. So
just turn it on. It may take a minute to show up. And that's probably why it took you to the admin side automatically. I didn't have you turned on as a learner. But you are activated as a learner now. Is it not showing up for you?
No, so what I went to your main website. I'm going to try and log in from there.
Okay, you probably don't want to do that.
To the subscriber login at the bottom?
Yeah, that's going to be to our other learning management system.
Because every time I type in, you know, the web address,
mm-hmm.
Martech, you know, .myabsorb.com, it immediately takes me to the admin site and I'm logged in.
Okay, do you see a learner option or learner side button?
I'm going to try it again. No.
Okay. So this is the admin dashboard, and this is going to have basic information about the learning management system. For example, it has the activity stream, any reports that have been generated, any reports that you have saved, they're going to be displayed here. So we'll show you how to save reports. So whenever you come to the admin dashboard, all you have to do is click on the report, and it'll take you to that report. The learner dashboard is, let me log off and log back in. So the learner dashboard is going to show the users that you have.
Okay.
And right now you're at 7 users. This is displaying 8 because it's showing myself.
Okay.
And your top 5 learners in the past 30 days. So once you have users that are in the system and they're completing training, then a lot of these are going to fill in.
Okay.
As your top courses, and this is a course that I enrolled myself into, so there's that's showing up, and it's showing that I spent 1 minute in that course. Okay. These are all standard. Unfortunately, you cannot update these.
Okay.
So the options that we have on the left are we're going to break down what we can admin. So first we have courses, we have users, and we have reports. So courses, I want to look at courses first. But first what I want to do is I want to point out the layout of these pages. So these layouts are what we would consider reports. So this is going to be kind of a report layout, and not a report layout. This is a course report. And if we go to the user page, this is going to be a user report. And then these are the individual types of reports within the reporting area. And the reason why I say all of these are reports is that they're all laid out the same. So whenever you're on the user page, you can edit the columns that are going to be displayed in this report.
Okay.
And the same with courses too. And these columns are going to change based upon the section of the learning management system you're in. Does that make sense?
So, so if I change, like if I click certain things, like under you know, in the courses report right now. So by me clicking all these different things, so that means that I can exclude those things from a report or include it. Like what exactly, I guess what I'm asking is like when I click these things like number of ratings, access date, allow comments or whatever, is that including that stuff in a report or is it excluding that stuff in a report?
The check marks that you see are going to be columns that are added to the report. So if I uncheck this allow self-enrollment, then that allow self-enrollment column is going to be removed. The same with automatic enrollment, and the column is removed. So if I want to see, if I add the vendor, this is going to add the vendor to the report. And if allow comments is turned on, then this is going to show me what courses have comments that are allowed.
Okay, so clicking a topic adds it to the report.
So, so this will allow you to add information to the report. And once you have a report that you like, let's say you have a layout that you like for an individual page, this being the course page, you can click this this icon on the right. You have these 5 icons here, and you can click save or actually new layout, I believe, since I already have a report saved. Let me delete this just to check.
I don't have that icon. I have generate report file, print report, schedule report email is not accessible, share reports not accessible, and then I have saved layouts.
Yes, so if you click on save layouts,
okay,
and then click create new.
Oh, okay, then that'll show up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to add this Suncoat training report, actually course report. Click create new, and then if I click the star next to this report, and anytime I come to this page, this is going to be the report that's displayed.
Oh, okay.
And once you save a report, you can share this with other users, but only groups. So I'll show you how to create a group in just a moment.
Does the group have to be authorized users, or can I share that with people who don't have access to the system?
They have to have access to the system, and they must be administrators.
Okay.
So if you share this with any of your employees, if they don't have access to the admin area, then they wouldn't be able to access the report. But what you can do is schedule report email, and you can select the frequency, and I have never tried this, so would probably be a trial and error thing. So if you enter recipient email addresses for users outside the system and test that out and see, that might work for you.
Okay. I mean, I can send the report to myself and then distribute it to whoever I want to. That serves the same purpose.
Right. Yeah. So print report, we can export the report to Excel. So these are options for the reports. And again, I want to point out that these are the same for all of the reports. So if we go to the user page, we're going to have these same options. If we go to any of the reports, we're going to have the same options. So we can automate these, we can share these, we can save our layouts for each one of these pages.
Okay.
So for this course report page, I want to add a training type column. Oh, it's already there. And I want to point out that we have these filters at the top of each column.
Mhm.
So with category, I'm going to filter out Suncoke. And I'll show you whenever you add training how you can add a category, and that's going to help you sort your training. Right now, everything's going to be an online course. I don't believe we've had the opportunity to build any type of curriculum.
Right.
And so these are all the online courses, and SC stands for Suncoke. So that's mainly so I will know whenever I'm looking at all the thousands of courses we have in the system that SC is going to be the identifier, so I know it belongs to Suncoke.
Okay.
If we click Edit on the right, let me cancel out of that. If I select a course, there's an action panel at the right. There's also an action panel on the right. There's also an action panel at the top. So these are going to mirror each other. So if I click Edit, this is going to take me into the course. It's going to show the certain information that is editable within this course. I do not recommend setting or changing any of this information.
Okay.
Just kind of want to walk you through what it looks like, because this is going to look pretty much the same for most of the training.
Okay.
The availability is going to define who can self-enroll into this course. So if you have allow self-enrollment, this is going to show up in the course catalog. So you have these little hints as well. Turning this option on will make this course available for self-registration in the course catalog.
Okay.
This also shows the number of users that are available to self-enroll into this training. Completion, right now we have allow re-enrollment. So once a user completes a course, they do not have to wait any amount of time before they can re-enroll. If you wanted to change that to like a week, we could change that to 7 days, and then the user would be able to re-enroll after 7 days.
Okay.
And if you do want to make changes to the online courses that are in the system, please let me know, because we have an automated process on the back end. So if you needed to change something, let's say you wanted to change the re-enrollment rules in all the courses, let me know, and it's something that I could do in a batch process.
Okay.
Messages are turned off on all of the courses.
Okay.
And this is where the resources are. So if we wanted to add a resource to this course, we could click Add Resource, name the resource, and then browse to the URL or browse to the file.
Okay.
Uploads would be anything that a user would have to upload to the course. Let's say they needed to upload some form of identification, and that's where they would do this.
How come I don't have that?
You don't have uploads?
No, I have. Wait a minute, maybe I'm just in the wrong area. So under under courses, I click courses. I pick a course. I hit actions.
And edit?
Yeah, okay, so I highlighted a course. I have general, courses, availability, completion, messages, resources, and then I have more.
Okay, it might not be a course that you have access to administer.
Okay.
If you're not seeing syllabus, then it might be another piece of training. I noticed that whenever we started the call, like there are some training items that are
I got it
probably
now.
should not be here.
Yep. Okay.
It's probably training that I created during other demo calls, because I am using my demo account.
Yeah, I got it. General syllabus availability, completion, messages, resources, uploads. Okay. So I'm sorry. So uploads, resources is where I'm going to add anything I want to the course. Now, what is uploads again?
Any type of, let's say you have a course that requires that a user supply some type of identification. Then they would have to upload a copy of that identification. Or let's say you have a course and it requires that the user show proof that they have received some sort of training to receive credit for the course. Then you could apply the upload, and the user would be required to upload whatever documentation you specify to receive credit for the course.
So the upload would be more of a function that the user would use, and all I'm doing is just basically giving the end user access to use that function.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have almost 3,000 users in the system and over 7,000 courses, and I don't think one person has used the upload tool for any of the training.
Right.
But it is something that's available.
Okay.
So I do want to walk you through the creation of a curriculum.
Okay.
So to create a curriculum, go add new curriculum. So we'll click on curriculum.
Okay.
And we'll add a title. I'm going to call this SC Basic Tool Safety.
Okay.
And then you have to look for this catalog or category. You want to search for Suncoke. Let's scroll down to Suncoke and select that.
Okay.
You have the option to select thumbnails. The thumbnails have to be these sizes, and you can, so if I click choose thumbnail, we do have thumbnails that are already in the system. Every piece of training that is in the system is going to have a thumbnail for it. If you wanted to create your own thumbnail, then you could click upload thumbnails, and then you can drag and drop your specific thumbnail to that area and then select that thumbnail for your course.
So when I hit choose file, when I hit choose file, then file manager comes up, and then how do I tell which ones are which? So like I have the 200 series course, so then I would go to the 200 series, but it doesn't tell me what each course is, so I would have to just basically like use another version of the catalog or something so that I know I'm assigning the correct courses, or do I just click on the picture?
You just click on, like this is going to be the thumbnail for course 21303. If you wanted to reference what course that is, then you would have to use the catalog.
Right. Okay.
For the course listing.
Okay.
And it's not something that's required.
Understood. Okay. But this is where I go and assign courses to people.
Well,
but because
this isn't
like if I'm creating a curriculum. So you know, if I'm saying, okay, Joe Schmo, I want you to go through this curriculum, and this is where I would create. I'm sorry. This is where I would create the curriculum, and then I can assign the curriculum to Joe Schmo.
Right. Once you build the curriculum, then it's in your list of courses, and you can assign it to users.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So if we click on courses, this is going to be where we'll define the courses that are within the curriculum. So we have the opportunity to sort or build our curriculum with groups. So I'm going to call this safety, and I'm going to call this tools. And I'm going to click the Add Courses button, and if I come down to Suncoke and click this little arrow, the courses that are available are going to show up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to click some courses. I can also search for keywords and
why are they
continue.
repeating?
Sometimes it does that. I do not know why it does that. Here it's not doing that. Every once in a while it will do that, and I'm honestly not sure why it does that.
Okay.
So I'm going to add some courses down here to the second. And you can add as many groups and you can add as many courses as you want. Now, it's only going to let you add a course to one group at a time. So, sorry, I didn't say that very well. You can't have the same course appear in multiple groups.
Okay.
So it's only going to let the course appear in the curriculum once. And so we can determine, or we can specify a pace progress. And pace progress means that the user will have to complete the courses in the first section before they can complete the courses in the second section.
Oh, okay.
And if we want to say that the user must complete, let's say, 4 out of the 5 courses in the first section first, before they move on to the second section, we can set that as well.
So if I wanted to do that, could I set it up even further to say, okay, you have to pick 4 of these 5 courses, but you have to take, course number 1. Can you set it up that way too, or is it just, you gotta?
No, it's not going to. You can't set it up that way. You can set up like a group that has your required courses and maybe a group that has your optional courses. But if you want a user to take a specific course, then I would create a group and then select user must complete all.
Okay.
So the availability, actually let me back up and I want to talk about these courses for a minute. So the pace progress is only going to be specific to courses that are within the curriculum when the user is inside the curriculum. So what that means is if a user opens up the curriculum, they're going to see a certain hierarchy of courses and they're going to have access to the courses that they can complete. So let's say course 20205 is in the second group of the curriculum. Well, if the user goes to the learner side and they search for 20205 and let me go back to the learner side here. If they search for 20205 here, it's going to let them take that course. They'll be able to self-enroll into that course. This is only going to set the pace within the curriculum. It's not going to lock them out from taking this course in other areas of the LMS. Does that make sense?
So if a person can self-enroll, I guess maybe in the most simplest terms, the self-enrolling versus the curriculum are 2 separate things, so they don't link up. So I could take 20205 because I can self-enroll in that class, but it's not going to impact what's in the curriculum that I have. So in order for me to get credit for going through the curriculum that's been assigned to me, I have to take it through the curriculum. Is that right?
You will still get credit. You will still get credit. So if you complete a course outside of the curriculum, it's still going to mark complete in the curriculum.
Oh, okay.
It's just not going to keep you from self-enrolling if it's in the second group of a curriculum and you have PACE progress turned on.
Okay. I get it.
And so that would be an argument for turning off self-enrollment for the individual courses. So if you didn't want users to self-enroll for certain courses, then you could go into those individual courses and turn off self-enrollment.
But I would have to do that for each course, not for each person.
Right, for each course.
Okay.
And speaking to availability, this is where we would set the availability. Right now, no users can self-enroll in this training, and no users will automatically be enrolled into this training. So self-enrollment is going, like I said, this is going to allow the training to appear in the catalog. And we do have to set a role for the self-enrollment, and I recommend using the department setting, and that will have this available for all the users within your department, which is Suncoke. If you want users to automatically be enrolled into this training, then we can set department and Suncoke, and then whenever any users are added to the system, when we click Save here, then all the users that are in the system are going to automatically receive this enrollment, and any users in the future that are added to the LMS will receive this enrollment.
Okay. So since right now I want my users to be able to automatically enroll, so I set everything exactly the way you have it on your screen, and then what do I hit? Just hit enter, add rule. What do I hit?
You would click Save, and it would save that enrollment rule.
Okay. So what's the difference between allow self-enrollment and enable automatic enrollment?
Allow self-enrollment will have this training appear in the catalog, where the user can browse for the training, and they can click the enroll button and enroll in that training if they want to take it. Okay. Enable automatic enrollment is going to automatically assign this training to the user.
Okay.
So down below, there's other processes that are available. We can set an approval process where we can specify who will need to approve this training. We can make this a mandatory course. We can specify when this course can be accessed in the system. So for example, if I didn't want this training to be available until December 2nd, then I would set this access date.
Okay.
The expiration is going to, after a certain amount of time, let's say a user will have a month to complete this training. After that, it's going to expire and the user can no longer access the training. And a due date, so if we can set this to a certain amount of time, let's say if we want this due in 2 months, then this is going to require the training be completed in 2 months. And this will also trigger it to appear on the calendar.
Okay.
Any prerequisites that we want to set, we can set that here. So if we want a user to complete, so I'm going to select one course here.
Okay.
So I'm going to select this course. So a user must complete this course before they can start this training, because this is set as a prerequisite.
Okay.
Administrators, we want to make sure that we set the department visibility. So if you just select department visibility at the very bottom, it's very important that you do that. So this is going to specify that only Suncoke admins can view this training.
Okay.
And completion information. And by the way, I know we're approaching 12 and we still have probably about 20 minutes to cover. Do you have a hard stop at 12?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I do not.
And you're also gonna send out, like, you're gonna send me like directions, because I'm not gonna remember all this.
Yes, I have a training document that I'll send you.
Okay. All right.
So so if we want to make this into a certification or certificate where a user completes this training, they'll receive a certificate.
Okay.
We would set that information on the completion page. And if we click Learners Receive a Certificate Upon Completion, we have a new dialog that opens up. And first thing that we want to do is we want to choose the type of certificate. So if we click Choose File, it's going to open up our file selector, and you'll see we have this folder at the top called Certificates. And there are basically 6 certificates. We have certificates with scores and certificates without scores. The reason being is if you have an individual course that's going to show a score, then you would want to use certificate with a score. With the curriculum, you're not going to have a score, so you wouldn't want to choose any certificate that says with score. And you also have with expiry and no expiry. No expiry means this is a one-time certification. The user is going to receive the certificate. They're not going to have to renew.
Okay.
If, for example, we want the user to retake the certificate every year, then we would select with expiry, no score.
Okay.
I'm going to select this certificate. And right now it says no expiry, but we want to specify that after 1 year, the certification is going to expire. And that means that the user will have, after a year, they'll move into an expired status, and they'll have to retake the training to maintain their certification.
Okay.
Now, the second part of this, which is very important, is allow re-enrollment. So we can specify before the certificate expires, say 1 month before the certificate expires, the user is going to be reassigned this training automatically. So, so it's going to appear in their transcript, and they'll have to retake the training.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and but you have to set that up for whatever individual courses you want that to work with, and it'll.
This is just the curriculum.
Oh, okay.
We would not want to set this for individual courses.
Okay.
Because if we do that, then it's going to affect all the users that take that. So we only want to set certifications for a curriculum that we build.
Okay.
And you can have instructor-led training as well that has curriculums or certifications associated as well.
Okay. That makes more sense, because I'm thinking, oh my God, like if someone was going to use that, that'd be a nightmare. So that makes
yeah. You just want it for let's say you have a like a forklift program, and a user has to take the course every year. Then this would be why you would set that. We can set post-enrollments. So let's say once a user has completed this certification or this curriculum, that they'll automatically receive another enrollment. So for example, if you have tools level 1, then once a user completes tools level 1, then they'll automatically receive a new assignment for the curriculum that you have in the system that might be tools 2.
But what's the difference? I mean, like, that almost sounds kind of redundant with the PACE function, because like you couldn't take under the PACE function, like you couldn't go into the next curriculum until you finished the first one. So I don't understand the difference between the two.
Well, I would think of it as this would be one training program, like the basic training program, And then if you have a separate advanced training program, then that might be something that would be assigned after. This is really like dealer's choice. However you prefer to set this up is completely up to you. You don't have to use post-enrollments. You don't have to use pace progress. This is all for your preference. There are extra features that are available.
Okay, gotcha.
So messages are something that I highly recommend turning on, especially if you're going to be using certifications. Now, we do not have messages turned on for the individual courses, just because if you have 10 courses that are within a curriculum, you don't want a user to receive 11 emails. It's going to send an email for all the courses in the curriculum. You don't necessarily need to set up emails, but with certifications, when users are going to be renewing, and there's an expiration that's involved, we want to make sure that there's notifications that are sent out from the learning management system.
Okay.
Follow me?
Yeah.
So some of the options that we have for emails, for this example, we have an enrollment email, we have a completion email, we have a nudge email as well. And what a nudge email is, we can set this like every 7 days. Let's say we're going to have 5 nudges. Every 7 days after this has been assigned, a user is going to receive a reminder email letting them know they still not have completed this training.
And right now it's set up that it's MarTech's standard format email. But like if I wanted to develop my own template, then I could
use custom template.
And then I would upload that, and then whatever I set would go. Okay.
Well, it's not an upload, but you do have access to edit this information. So if you notice, there are these tags that are available. So if I wanted middle name to be included in this, then I would click middle name. And so you have all this information that's being included. So the message, the nudge message says, this message is to remind you that you have enrolled in, then it has the course name on start date, but you have not completed your course. And please use following link. And so pretty simple.
I can only edit whatever there's a button for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can certainly edit this if you want. This is going to send a copy to the administrators. So if you want to receive copies of these nudge emails, then this will copy the administrators in the system.
Okay. The same thing for the supervisor under the next one.
Supervisor is something that has to be set manually on the user record. So whenever we get to the user record, I'll show you how to set supervisor.
Okay.
And resources, again, this is where we would upload a document. And for this example, I'm going to upload a document. So upload the file and then click select this file. And there's my document right there.
Oh.
So I'm going to turn off automatic enrollment because since this is a test, I don't want your users to receive this enrollment.
Gotcha.
I'm going to click save. And this is going to take me back to the courses page. So I'm going to sort just my curriculum. I want to see what curriculum I have. Click add filter. And here is the curriculum that I created.
Okay.
And I think you created that one. So if we had a created by, then yeah, that's going to show, okay, you created that. And So we have a couple of different ways to assign training. So if we select some courses and then click Enroll Users, then we can select the users that we want to enroll.
Okay.
The other option we have is from the user page. And if we go to the user page and select some users, I'm just going to select myself right now. Click Enroll Users. Click Add Course, and that's my Basic Tool Safety curriculum. Click Enroll, and now it's enrolled that training to me. So if I go back to the learner side, now that training is showing up under My Courses. And it shows a due date. Okay, this is due February 1st next year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have that delivery date, and this is not going to be delivered until December 1st. Remember I set that delivery date?
Yep.
So unless I change that, this is going to be locked out from the user. But I just want to show you that this resource, this is the resource document that I uploaded. So if I clicked on that, then that document that I uploaded would be available.
Okay.
And resources, I think there's probably a separate resource page, or it hasn't updated in the system yet.
So
but anytime you upload a resource, I recommend doing it at the learning object level.
You mean where the course is?
Yeah, on the course.
Okay.
Let me see if there's, okay, global resources. So if I select global resources, edit this resource. Yeah, so your global resources are going to show up on the resources page. So if you didn't see how I got there, it's through admin, courses, and global resources.
Admin, so courses.
And global resources.
I don't see global resources. So I'm at the courses screen, and it shows like all the list of all the courses that are available.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Do you see the global resources option under venues?
I got it now. Okay.
Okay. Now, some things that I'm not going to go through, the question bank, if you want to build assessments within the system, and an assessment would be a custom test, then that is where you would go. You would build your questions into the system, and then you would build an assessment. And if you want to do that, then I can have a separate training call for that.
Okay.
A venue is going to be specific to instructor-led courses. So any type of training that it would occur in a classroom, the classroom would be a venue, and you would set the venue and you would set the number of seats available for that venue. Competencies, tags, comments, and ratings, these are all things that you're probably not going to use. If you find that you want more information on those, I'd be happy to send you some more information.
Okay.
Users, I do want to move on to users just because we don't have a lot of time.
Sure.
So users are, of course, your users in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And we have roles. These are going to be admin roles that are available. And right now we have department administrators. So you can make other administrators in the system.
Okay.
And you can also view your administrators. So if I click department administrators and click users, it's going to display the department admins.
Okay.
Departments, right now you just have Suncoke. So if, for example, you wanted to set sub-departments for organizing your users, I don't really recommend it because it can be a pain in the butt, especially if you only have 8 users. But if you have like 800 users, then it might be more practical to organize those users into sub-departments under Suncoke.
Right.
So looking at users, this is going to display all of your users in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to click on a user and click edit. And here we can edit the user's information. We can set a temporary password for the user. So we have 2 options for, I'm going to cancel out of this and go back to the previous page. We have 2 options for resetting a password for a user. We can click the reset password button, and this will send a reset password email, just like I did with you at the beginning of the call. And so we have the option.
Where did you go for that? So I clicked.
It's on. So if you go to the users page,
right. Yeah,
and select a user,
yeah,
there's a reset password button on the right.
I got you.
And if you click on that, it'll give you an option to send 1 of 2 emails. You can send a reset password email, or you can send a new user message.
So new user messages, hey, you know, I just like, you're a new enrollee, new person, so this is telling you for the first time how to log in. That's what that is, right?
Right.
Okay.
So some of the options that we have on the right for user management, if I go back in and edit user,
okay.
If I want to manually reset a user's password, this is where I can set that.
Okay. But if I don't do that, then it just automatically generates the link for me to reset my password, right?
Right.
Okay. Which seems like the easier option.
Yeah, it is, especially if the user's email is valid.
Okay.
And then we have other information. Some more information that you can edit on a user.
Okay.
So we reviewed the enroll user option. This is going to enroll the user into training. If I want to view the user's transcript, then I would click user transcript. If I want to message a user, I can click this and it'll open up a message dialog. Reset password, we already covered that. Merge user, you're probably not going to use that. That's in case you have 2 users in the system. It's merging their learner information.
Okay.
Duplicate, you're probably not going to use that. View enrollments is probably one thing you'll actually use. So if I click on me and click view enrollments, it's going to show all the training that I'm enrolled in. And so these are the courses that I've been enrolled in. And this shows the score.
So
if I want, go ahead.
So just going back, so when I look at view enrollment, so even though my guys all have the ability to self-enroll, because they haven't actually accessed a course, nothing shows up in their record, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I'm using myself as an example. So if I click view enrollment, it's going to take me to the enrollment page. And I want to show you how you can edit a user's enrollment for a course.
Okay.
So for example, if I click this individual course and click Edit Enrollment. Here I can edit all the information for this course. I can mark the user as complete. I can say that, okay, I'm going to give them an 80% score and click Save. And now the user is going to be marked complete for that training. And click Save. And go back, and now the user is complete.
Okay.
And for the curriculum, if I click Edit Enrollment, I can mark a user complete for this as well. You'll see that there's one course that that they are complete, where they're showing complete, that I've actually completed within this curriculum.
Okay.
But a user has to be enrolled into a course before you can edit the completion data for that course.
Okay.
And let's see if I have anything else. The bulk action, so if I click more than one user, we can message the users, activate, deactivate, probably not going to use those, reset password, change department. Change department's going to move the users to another department. If I told you I was going to show you how to create a group. So I'm going to select you and Jennifer, and I'm going to create group. I'll click this Create Group button. And I'm going to call this SunCoke Admins. And click Save. And so then if I pull up a report, I'm going to create a report here. Let me go to another page. This is showing the groups. One thing that is important whenever you're creating a group, you want to make sure that you create an identifier that so you will know which group is yours. Because the groups, even though you don't have access to the users in a specific group, so if I want to view the users in this group, it's not going to show me the users in that group because I do not have permissions to view that department. It will let me view all the groups within the system. So you don't want to create something like admins, because if you create admins, chances are there's a high chance that that might be used by other admins in the system, and hopefully somebody wouldn't have used the simple title of admin for their group.
I got you.
So if we go back to the course report, if we want to share this, I'm going to select my group and SunCoke Admins and click Save. And then all of the SunCoke admins are now going to have access to this report. So if we go to, let me save this just to make sure, save my information. If I go back to the dashboard, then the SunCoke course report is showing up. So if I click on that link, it's going to take me to that report. So chances are, if you go to your dashboard, it may show up on this page, it may not, but if you go to your course page and you go under your layouts, it should be something that's available.
No, not yet, but I get it. I get it, but it's just not there yet. But
yeah,
I see where I would go. Okay.
Yeah, it may take a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's really pretty much all that I really want to show you. The other reports are they pretty much explain themselves. And if you know how to run a user report.
real quick?
Yes.
I'm just looking real quick under, I'm in courses, I'm at that screen, and under actions and under mass actions, it says these actions are disabled. Please select a single item. What does that mean?
It means that you do not have anything selected that would require that as a mass action. A mass action is something that is going to occur for more than one item. So,
Okay.
so it's going to be something that we would apply for multiple courses or mass numbers of courses. So if we select these courses, now we have the enroll users option.
Okay.
So we have it right here and we have it on the right here.
Okay. Got it.
But if we don't have anything selected, then it's not going to allow us to complete any actions. The same with the regular actions. We have to at least select one course before any of the options show up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And some of the reports I want to walk through: learner activity, learner progress. Those are going to obviously display information specific to the learners and their activity and progress. Course activity, we look at 20201. I think it was 20201. Update filter, that must have been 20101. Let me go back to my transcript. (20102). Look at a course activity and look for 20102.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to show that information. It'll show all your users that have been enrolled into this training, and then you can have other information that you might want to add to this report.
Okay.
You see there's a lot of information that we can add.
Okay.
And course summary, curricula activity. This is going to be specific to a curriculum. So once you create a curriculum in the system, it's going to show you the activity for that curriculum. And we'll check the SC Basic Tool Safety. And have one user, they have not obtained a certificate. And we can have, so all these options that we can select as well.
Okay.
So one more option, or one more thing that I do want to show you is the blue circle in the bottom right-hand corner. This is actually an admin reference. So if we want information about the LMS, then we have these tutorials that we can use to help us. How to view a user's transcript. We click that, and it'll take us. Okay, click users, and click the user, select a user, and then click user transcript. So, so we have those little tutorials that are available, and I will email you and the other administrator the information, the training information.
Okay. That's pretty
cool. And I'll also email you a video later today.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty neat system.